Good afternoon, I'm Kalisha Williams with the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Police send strong warning against gun salutes on New Year's Eve. NWA explains delay in removing utility poles along the Bowden Main Road in St. Thomas. And in sports, Chapelton Maroons look to transfer a window for saving grace. Now the details. First up this afternoon, businessman Michael Lee Chin says he's prepared to sell his shareholding in NCB Financial Group as one of the options being considered to settle outstanding bond obligations held by AIC Barbados. In a statement issued today but dated Tuesday, Mr. Lee Chin confirmed that he has begun a review of repayment options under an agreement reached with bondholders. The process includes a 45-day period beginning December 31 to address $94 million in principal and interest currently due. According to the statement, the potential sale of Mr. Lee Chin's NCB Financial Group shares is among several options on the table, alongside full repayment of the bonds or settlement of the amount due within the agreed time frame. He says he's working closely with advisors and stakeholders to determine the most appropriate and sustainable course of action. The review is intended to provide an orderly framework for finalizing repayment arrangements while maintaining constructive engagement with note holders. Mr. Lee Chin says the objective is to identify a responsible solution that best serves all stakeholders and allows AIC Barbados to meet its obligations in a transparent manner. A strong warning to members of the public this afternoon to desist from carrying out the illegal practice of gun salutes during New Year's Eve celebrations. In a statement today, the police indicated that there will be a zero-tolerance approach for such practice. Antonia Atkinson has that story.
It's New Year's Eve and many Jamaicans are looking forward to ringing in the new year in fine style. But the police are urging the public to desist from carrying out any gun salutes this evening, an illegal activity that has been a common practice in the island every year. In a statement today, the police stressed that the practice poses serious risks, including injury or damage to people and their property, and may even result in death.
It is not the best practice. Plus, it is illegal. Under the new Prohibited Weapons Act, you can get up to 15 years in prison if you carry out gun salute.
Detective Sergeant and Firearms Instructor at the National Police College, Ricardo Clark, further indicated that persons who engage in or facilitate in this practice will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law wherever these incidents are observed or reported.
It is dangerous. It also shows that you are irresponsible if you are a licensed firearm holder. Hence, you should not have that firearm. The velocity of the projectile when it goes up comes down with the same speed. We implore you, come out and watch the fireworks, whether in Ocho Montego Bay, or in Kingston, and do not try to make your own fireworks.
Meanwhile, citizens are encouraged to contact the 119 police emergency number or the nearest police station to report any such breach of the law. As the new year approaches, the police are also reassuring the public that the JCF will remain vigilant and will continue to maintain high visibility in the communities and business centers across the island.
Let's go into 2026 safely and under the law. Thank you, Jamaica.
Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
The leadership of at least one church in Black River, St. Elizabeth, says watch night service will go on tonight as is customary. Black River was one of the areas hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa, with almost every church in the area suffering damage. Pastor Althea McFarlane says the traditional New Year's Eve service is needed now more than ever.
We are scaled down now because we have a little room on the upstairs that we will be hosting watch night service in spite of, because we need to pray together. So in terms of the amount of persons, I know it is scaled down. we need to meet to encourage the body of Christ so that persons will know that even though it's difficult, God is still with us and He's the God of possibilities. And
She explained all members of her church suffered infrastructural damage during the hurricane.
Hurricane has affected us in terms of our membership because 99% of the members have lost their roof, and it also affects both the attendance to the house of the Lord. It has affected us immensely because normally when the lights are on, persons would know that there is church, and even if they are not members, they would automatically come for watch night service.
And several parts of the world have already marked January 1, 2026. Places such as Australia, New Zealand, China, South Korea, Japan, and Malaysia rang in the new year in style over the last few minutes or hours respectively. Now let's take in some of the sights and sounds from some of those places. To other news now, the National Works Agency says the delay in removing utility poles on the road between Bowden and Port Morant in St. Thomas was due to the Jamaica Public Service's focus on the restoration of electricity in hurricane-hit areas. The JPS began removing the poles yesterday following a crash on Sunday that injured 2 people. The poles, located in the middle of the westbound lane of the road, which forms part of the Southern Coastal Highway, had been a concern for motorists and stakeholders. NWA Communications Manager Stephen Shaw says the process should soon be completed.
Planned prior to the passage of Hurricane Melissa, but given the widespread damage and dislocation caused by the hurricane, of course, the country knows that the JPSCO has been quite active, especially in the western parishes that were particularly most significantly impacted. And so the resources were diverted to treat with the situations there. They are in this space now, and we are looking forward to all the poles being removed.
To the story now of how a single act of kindness has landed a St. Elizabeth resident a brand new home. Anthony Atkinson has the details.
This is Clement Campbell. In the Sellington district of St. Elizabeth, he has one name. Like many residents in the area, Campbell lost his home during the passage of Hurricane Melissa when the powerful system tore through sections of the parish. But Mr. Campbell's fortunes would soon change, all because of one simple act of kindness.
Right after Melissa, because you know that we know everywhere, I was asked to do a delivery for a friend of mine within this community. When I came to the community, I had some challenges and I was directed to find Wani. So we drove here, found Wani, and Wani was very receptive and he didn't hesitate to assist us.
That act did not go unnoticed. Patrick Derrymore, director of the Hiking Club Trekkers, says he was moved to reward Mr. Campbell after learning of his selflessness during the hurricane.
So I drove back to the community in search of Wani. It took us about 3 weeks to locate him because he's a very busy man. And finally I asked him, what can I help you with? He said water and food, but we thought that he might need a little bit more. So we dig deeper and found that his house was severely damaged in the hurricane.
The devastation left behind was not easy for the Campbell family. Mr. Campbell's wife recounted the harrowing moments as Hurricane Melissa ripped apart their small board house.
When the storm blow in, the roof go up, and I said, hold it, Jack. And it go up again, I said, hold it, Jack. And we have to run. One of the bed bottom, put chapel in on top of the bed and under the bed bottom. My daughter, we have asthma. Me under the bed, my son under the bed, everyone up under the bed.
Using salvage material from the damaged structure, the Campbells were able to rebuild temporarily. But by 2026, the family will move into a permanent concrete house now under construction. The house will include 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a living room, and a kitchen, a far cry from what was lost. Mr. Derry Moore remains optimistic that construction will be completed by the first quarter of 2026, turning a moment of tragedy into a lasting symbol of hope. Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
A young girl with big dreams of becoming a track athlete and dancer is now facing a very different reality after being diagnosed with scoliosis. She has been forced to give up the activities she once enjoyed. Her family is now appealing for financial support to help cover the cost of her treatment. Alia Bryant reports.
13-year-old Shanita Bruce spent most of her days on the track or in the dance studio, running, leaping, and chasing her dreams. But at the age of 10, those dreams were abruptly put on pause when doctors diagnosed her with scoliosis, a condition that causes an abnormal curvature of the spine. She underwent a year of physiotherapy, but doctors say it has not helped. The diagnosis has brought not only physical pain, but also heartbreak for her family.
She has a significant curve within her spine. Yes, so they said that surgery is the best option for her now, based upon her hip disc. Also have a tilt in it. And at her age, and it is at that significant curve, it will only progress.
When I'm sitting up, I kind of feel a sharp pain in the middle of my back. So it's kind of hurting me, like someone stick a knife in my back.
Her surgery is scheduled for February 3, 2026, but the emotional toll is now matched by a growing financial burden.
The things that need for the surgery value about 1.9 million and change. And after surgery, it's the same amount to get back brace, crutches, medication, and so forth. The quotation is valid for just 30 days. So the price that we are looking at now for 1.9, that's from September. So probably when we go back, it increased to more than 1.9.
Despite the challenges, Anita remains hopeful. Her family is appealing for financial support to get the care she needs.
We are seeking the public help, local and internationally, for help for Shanita so that she is able to get her surgery done on time. So every little make a muckle. We need your help.
Aaliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
And it's time for a break now, but stay with us. More stories when we come back. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Supreme Ventures has begun talks with Dollar Financial Services to sell Evolve Loan Company's loan portfolio and selected assets, including its digital lending platform. If completed, Evolve would move to an asset-light model focused on loan organization and fees, reducing risk and improving returns. The deal would expand Dollar's microcredit operations, with Supreme Ventures retaining a 15% stake. Any transaction will require Bank of Jamaica approval. Now further afield, U.S. stocks are on track to see a third straight year of double-digit gains. The S&P 500 is set to rise at 17% this year. That's after rising 25% in 2024 and 24% in 2023. That gain comes despite concerns about tariffs, geopolitical turmoil, nerves about a bubble, and the longest government shutdown in history. 3 straight years of double-digit gains is relatively rare, only happening 5 times since the 1940s. For the Business Minute, I am Kimberly Petty.
And here's a preview of what's coming up in this evening's Health Report.
In this evening's Health Report, we look at Alzheimer's disease.
It predominantly affects short-term memory, and it affects their ability to plan, organize, their ability to make sound judgments. And over time, all of these are slowly diminished to the extent that they require support. And as they get further and further along in the process, it becomes very painful that they can not only forget important memories within the short-term space, but eventually lose their long-term memory.
That's the Health Report in Primetime News at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Stay mentally active, stay physically active, eat a healthy diet, and get social support.
It's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, in Kingstown, St. Vincent, Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday says his new administration will prioritize completing the $78 million acute referral hospital at Arnos Vale instead of building a new parliament. He says the National Assembly will continue meeting at its temporary location for the foreseeable future, citing financial constraints. Friday has again criticized the previous government's decision to borrow $20 million for a new parliament during the COVID-19 pandemic, insisting healthcare must come first. And on the international scene, health experts are sounding the alarm as flu activity surges across the U.S. Most states are now reporting high or very high flu levels, with cases continuing to rise nationwide. The CDC estimates at least 7.5 million illnesses so far this season based on data through December 20th. Genetic testing points to a new flu variant known as subclade K driving most infections. The strain wasn't included in this year's flu shot, but experts still urge the public to get vaccinated. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aliyah Bryant.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.